Peace, everyone, and welcome. We're getting a little bit of a later start for today's video, but we are of course getting it in, and we are building on the topic of three ways or tips to create new opportunities. I recently spent some time in the Northeast. I was in New York for a little bit. I went up to Connecticut, and I spent some time with some amazing family and just enjoyed, spending time and making memories. But one of the he married my cousin, so my cousin-in-law. I'm always confused on those things, but in any regards, I'll just call him my cousin. I love being able to spend time and build with them, and he's grown and become a person that is extremely successful. Successful in personal growth, successful with his family, successful in business, and so of course, just an amazing individual as it is. But I love to be able to have those opportunities to build with him and to pick his brain and to see just another vantage point, another point of view. And I was having a conversation with him one evening, and his story is basically along the lines that he worked really hard, and he tells a story that all of a sudden he had this really big break. It was this pivotal moment where everything changed. He had to kind of take a leap of faith. There was this giant step for him, and that's when everything changed. And the rest is kind of history. Now the end result, like I said, just very successful, accomplished, and fulfilled individual. You can tell in the way that he carries himself, and the way that his family carries themselves, and it's awesome. And I think that we all are pursuing that in some way, shape, or form, whether on the personal level, on the family level, on the professional level, or all three of them. And so that's why these three opportunities, or these three ways to create new opportunities, are very easy, and just things that I took from the conversation that I had with him. And just, we built up to these three, and understanding opportunities, because we all know the old, saying that, opportunity is not going to come knocking, you have to go pursue it. But we kind of get fixated in really feeling that opportunity is going to knock, that if we just keep working really hard, and we keep a positive attitude, that things are going to get better, that these opportunities are going to come. And keeping a positive attitude, all those things are absolutely important, but we can be doing more to help ourselves and to put ourselves in the right position to even see these opportunities, to even be present for these opportunities. And so the first thing that we have to understand, and the first tip of creating opportunities in our lives, is we have to have the desire to escape the status quo. When we really start to feel very comfortable with our lives, it's not something that we should sit back and go, we made it, this is amazing. Of course, cherish the moments, cherish every moment, but see it as an opportunity to go seek out a new opportunity. If you're feeling kind of bored, if you're feeling like you could be doing more, then chances are you absolutely can be. But if we leave ourselves in the position that we're satisfied, and that we are content with the status quo, then that's where we're going to stay. And of course, there's that gap between what we say we're going to do and what we actually do. Something I touch on heavily in my upcoming program, the Head Start program, which is going to help us learn how to mitigate and to handle stress. But again, that's coming out here soon. But escaping that status quo is paramount. If he never was in that position to want to take that leap of faith, if he was completely content with where he was in that moment, he would have never really been open to that conversation. It was an opportunity that was presented to him. It was something that was, a conversation was had. There was multiple conversations had, as a matter of fact. And he had to continue to entertain that idea, and again take the leap of faith. He had to take a pay cut. It was at, of course, the worst time possible. He had one kid, another kid on the way, my little cousins. And that's stressful. That is absolutely stressful. I'm sure many of you are in situations like that, and that's just how it happens. We have to take that leap of faith, from time to time. But when we put ourselves in those positions to find these opportunities, we are more willing and open to them because we're seeking them out. We're not just waiting for it to come. And, if we're just sitting for these opportunities to come and we're not actively hunting it, we may be too timid when the opportunity comes, and somebody that is actively hunting it may swoop around us and jump on that opportunity, because again, they have that active eye, they have that active, focus on finding those new opportunities. The next thing, the next tip is to make sure that you define a mission and not just a title. Um, One of the things that kept him from wanting to evolve into this next step was that he had a really good title with the company that he was at originally. And he felt like, I am giving up this title, this seniority, this place in my life to basically start all over and you know, pretty much give up everything that I had just worked for. And that can be a very, 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 very scary thing. But when you're seeking out those opportunities and you have a clearly defined mission, so when he referenced that step back, he also realized that his current position was not going to completely fulfill and satisfy what it was that he wanted to do in his life and his clearly defined mission. So at the end of the day, when and as difficult as the decision was for him, he had to make the decision. Like, he had to go for it because he knew that with his clearly defined mission, that where he was in the status quo with that title, it wasn't going to completely fulfill and satisfy what he wanted in life. So again, having to take that leap of faith, it's a little bit easier. We have more confidence in taking that step because we have that clearly defined mission and not just attached to the title and the things that people may have to call us at work, or hey boss, or group leader, or whatever it is. Um, and he actually found that he was still in a leadership role without the title when he had to completely start over. So again, at that point, titles are just titles. You can effectively lead from any position, and it's more, of your engagement and all of these other things that I build on frequently. When it comes to leadership. But you can check out some of my other videos, that I've done on leadership in that sense. So the last thing is, and this one I thought was really interesting because his line of work is, I guess I didn't fully really understand it. Now, for me personally, I work as a firefighter, so remaining adaptable. Um, if you don't remain adaptable, it's just going to be a very long, stressful career for you. And so the third tip is to maintain flexibility or to maintain adaptability, because what that allows us to do is, whether we're taking a leap of faith, whatever your situation is, when you're able to maintain that flexibility throughout it, basically whatever gets thrown at you, it's not a question of, is this going to break me? It's more of a question of, how do I get around this? If we're moving in a very rigid form and saying, okay, if today I go out and this doesn't come together, that's it. It's the end of this journey. I'm done for. I'm giving up, or whatever it is. Um, Again, relying on those first two things, you kind of ask for it when you escape the status quo. You're challenging yourself, which there's no replacement for it. It's one of the most exhilarating feelings, to be challenged. We fear it because of the fear of failure and the fear of exposure and what others may think, and all these other things. But when it comes down to it, that feeling of challenging yourself and growing as a person, there's just no replacement for it. So having that flexibility in those moments, um, is very, very important, because um, you don't want to go for something and then feel like you made the wrong decision. Feel confident in your decisions, and instead of looking at things like, this is what's going to break me, see it as, ask yourself a different question. You have that opportunity. You are in charge of the way that you think and the thoughts that you generate. So you could easily say, this is it, I'm done, I'm going into, I'm falling back on my side plan, or my plan B, or whatever it is. Or you can go with a more powerful thought and say, how do I get around this? What what time do I need to put in, what type of energy do I need to put in, or what type of resources do I need to get through this. um, Through one of those three questions, you're going to find some type of outlet, or you're going to find somebody that has the outlet, and be able to satisfy what it is that you're doing. So again, these were just three tips and ways for us to escape the status quo and to create new opportunities for ourselves. A lot of people that I speak with in my coaching line of work, there's a frequent um, inadequacy of opportunities. And people feel like, well, the opportunities are just not open to me. I'm just not that person. I'm not that lucky. I'm not fortunate enough to be offered those amazing opportunities that are going to be these huge pivot points for me in my life. And that's taken a very passive role. A lot of the people that have become successful and maintain their success are the ones that go out and are able to pursue and create new opportunities for themselves. So take these three tips and make of it what you will. Some extremely powerful stuff that can really, you know, create new opportunities. My goal for all of these videos is for you guys to take them and to create a new thought, create a new way of thinking, or to refresh. A lot of times you guys already know this information, and sometimes it's just a solid refresher or a confirmation for you to say, you know what, I was moving in this direction and in this light, and I kind of stumbled, but this is what I needed, and now I'm getting right back to it. That completely, for me, is amazing. That's exactly what I'm here for, and this is why I love to make these videos and to share with all of you guys. So keep creating those opportunities, keep building, maintain your flexibility. Don't ever be okay with the status quo. Maybe for like an afternoon, go out to dinner, take your family out to dinner, take your lady or your man out to dinner, and enjoy it, and then get right back to it. All right, guys. Until next time, I'm Jonathan. I'm signing out. Peace.